Hey, Daily Dosers, welcome back to Tuesday, part 2 of a 5-day study on the book of Philippians that we talked about this past weekend. Man, if you missed yesterday, it started this whole thing off. These are all linked together. And if you're here, it means you were brave enough to come back after yesterday. Because yesterday we talked about that first mindset we have. As new people in Christ, it can't be about us. It no longer is about us. My daily experience in existing can't be about me, but it's about others in Christ. Man, that is a hard one to get through. So today, the second part of this new mindset that gives us joy, where we can be people that are rejoicing regardless of the circumstances in life, comes from chapter 2. See how we're doing this? The next chapter in the book of Philippians, and it tells us why we should have this mindset. If yesterday the mindset was not about Chris, it's got to be about Christ. For me to live is Christ and to die is gain. Why do I get there? Chapter 2, verse 1. Can you circle if? If you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, circle if, any comfort from his love, circle, any fellowship with the Spirit, and if any tenderness and compassion, then, circle, highlight, underline, make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and purpose. He goes, let me tell you why you're going to have this mindset. It's because of what Christ has already done for you. Okay, Christian, is there any encouragement from being with Christ in your life? Is there any encouragement from knowing that you're a child of God? Is there any comfort from God's love? Experiencing God's love, knowing we are God's treasured possession, does that give you any comfort at all? If there's any fellowship with the Spirit, is there anything the Spirit has ever done in your life, helped you in your life, walked through in your life, changing in your life? If any tenderness and compassion, then here's why you're changing your mindset. I love the way Paul puts this. I'm not doing this to serve some omnipotent God out there somewhere that's an omniscient and informed and infinite. And he's like, no, it's because of what God's already done for you, buddy. It's because he has changed you, given you his love, his fellowship, his tenderness, his character, the peace. Even because of that, now you can have a joy that's being made complete. But it starts here in the mind, being like-minded. That's how you're going to have this complete joy. Have the same love, one in spirit. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself. There's our mindset. How much am I doing out of selfish ambition? How much am I doing out of vain conceit to make myself look better, sound better, come across better? But in humility, consider others today better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interest, but also to the interest of others. See, yesterday when we said, hey, what do we have to do in this? We have to change who we're living for me to live as Christ. He goes, now here's how it's done. You put others first. You consider others better than yourself. Get rid of your selfish motives. Get rid of your vain thoughts. And your reason why you're doing this? Because what God's already done for you. In this, he says, you're going to make joy complete. And then he gives that great example. Consider Jesus, who did not consider his equality with God something to be grasped, but he set it aside, come to earth, taking on the very form as one of his own creation, the way he served us until his own death. And then he allowed God to rise him up to a position that he had at the beginning. So once again, every tongue on earth and under the earth will confess that he is Lord. He goes, why don't you let God do the lifting up? Why don't you let God do the building up? You seek the mindset of Christ. And Paul goes, this is now how we find complete joy. When you come to think about it, it makes a little sense, doesn't it? In just the first 2 pages of Philippians. If life is about me and about my power, my position, my popularity, if life is not lived for Christ but Chris, then no wonder I'm not getting joy. Why? Because I'm keeping score on what happens to me, what's going on around me. How come I didn't get this? How come that person got that? How come no one recognized me? Why is this happening? He goes, you're constantly robbed of joy. Why? Because you're the center of it. If your life is about Christ and lifting others up, then it doesn't matter what happens to you. You're always being Christ-like, and you're always sacrificing, and you're always completing your purpose. That's why I can be in prison, as we saw yesterday, facing death, and I can have joy and contentment, because I'm not the sole purpose nor focus of this life. Day 2, a mindset that brings us joy. Join us tomorrow for day 3.